Good morning everyone. I am Tanushri Dalai from Civil Engineering branch, and today I am going to teach you about your Theory 1 paper, which name is Structural Mechanics. So in previous class we have already read about the center of gravity. Then we read about a lot of formulas about the various kinds of shape, like your square shape, rectangular shape, circular and semicircular and right angle triangle. So then today we will discuss about the moment of inertia. So basically it is measure of a body's resistance to change to its rotation, and it is also defined as the capacity of a cross section to resist bending, and its unit is meter to the power 4 or mm to the power 4. So now we will discuss various kinds of formulas of moment of inertia of various kinds of shapes. So first of all is your rectangular shape. So here you can see in this table the rectangular shape is there and the figure is there, and the moment of inertia we will calculate it in the x-axis as well as in y-axis. So first of all consider the x-axis. So here you can see the diagram, a square rectangular shape, and in the x-axis the value of moment of inertia is the width into the depth to the power q divided by 12. Okay, and in the y-axis the formula is capital D, that means your depth into width to the power 3 divided by 12. Then the hollow rectangular. So in case of hollow rectangular, so here two widths and two depths are there. One is your outer depth and another is your inner depth, and second one is your outer width and inner width. So here we can find out this section value, this section moment of inertia, by subtracting the moment of inertia of the outer rectangular with inner rectangular. So here you can see the outer side of the rectangular, the moment of inertia will be bdq by 12, which we have already read in this part, then minus smaller rectangular moment of inertia value, that means small bdq by 12. Okay, so in case of y axis it will be alternate, the b is alternate by d and the d is alternate by b. So here you can see the value of moment of inertia in case of y axis is dbq by 12 minus dbq by 12. Okay, so this part is your outer side rectangular and this part is your inner side rectangular. Then come to the third shape, which is your solid circular section. So it is a symmetrical section, so that in case of y axis along and the x-axis the value of the moment of inertia will be same. So here in case of x-axis the value of moment of inertia or I equal to pi d fourth by 64, and in case of y axis the value also pi d fourth by 64. Okay, so now come to the hollow circular section. As I said in before, like your hollow rectangular section, the two rectangular section is there. Similarly here also two circular section is there. One is smaller circular, another is bigger circular. So here the formula is pi by 64 capital D4, that means the diameter of the bigger circular section, minus small d to the power 4, that means the diameter of the smaller circular section. Okay, then in case of y axis this formula is same. Okay, then now come to the triangular section. So here in case of triangular section the moment of inertia value in x-axis is your bhq by 36. That means base into height to the power q divided by 36. Okay, and in case of y-axis the value is bhq by 12. Okay, so this is all about your basic principle of the structural mechanics in your chapter 1. So now come to the last part, which is your free body diagram. So what do we mean by free body diagram? As its definition, it says that a free body diagram is a simple diagram that shows the size and direction of all the forces acting on an object. Okay, the drawing of a free body diagram is an important step in the solving of mechanics problem, since it helps to visualize all the forces acting on a single object. Okay, so in case here you can see a body is placed on a plane. So when we draw a free body diagram, here you can see the body is in air, so it is in the free condition. So what are the forces acting on it? One is your upward force, which is known as your force in normal, and another is downward force, as we know that the gravitational force, which is denoted as F gravitational, okay, which is equal to m into g, mass into g. So this is the free body diagram representation of this body. Okay, so as an example, here we take a book and it placed over a table. So when we make a free body diagram of this book or this object, so how it will look? It will look like this. That means here is the book, and in the upward direction the normal force is there. That means the force of the table by which the book is placed on this table, and another is the downward force, which is your force of gravity. Okay, so this is all about your basic principle of mechanics, and now we will do some problems regarding the moment of inertia and center of the gravity. Okay, so this is your problem, which says that determine the coordinates of the center of gravity of the object as shown in the figure below. So here is the figure, and we have to determine the center of the gravity of this whole shape. So here you can see that in this figure it is the combination of three rectangular shapes. One is this section, another is this section, and third one is this section. Okay, so we have to calculate each of this section, and then by combining these three section we have find out the center of the gravity. So first of all, divide the object into three parts. Okay, as I said that this is the part 1, this is part 2, and this is part 3. So first of all, we have to calculate the area of the each part. So you can see the area of the part 1, that means the area of this part, this rectangular shape. So how we can find out? We'll find out by multiplying the width into depth. So by which value is 2 into 6. That means 12. The unit is centimeter, so centimeter square. 12 centimeter square is the area of this section only. Okay, and the center point lies on the x-axis. So in the problem, we have to calculate the coordinates of the center of gravity. So we have, it is the 2D diagram, so we have two coordinates, one is in x-axis and another is in y-axis. So that we have to calculate the center point in the x-axis as well as in y-axis also. Okay, so today we will discuss this much. Thank you so much.